with Eileen.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Life in Curly Cues podcast. And with that's not how I started. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Life in Curly Cues podcast with me, Eileen. This is episode 15. Wow, 15. I've made it very far and I'm proud of myself. This week on the episode, I have a very awesome friend of mine that I met like 2 years ago. Yeah, wow. 2 years ago we met and we've been friends ever since, and she is one of my go-to country dancing partners. Hannah is joining us today.
Hey y'all.
So Hannah and I met when we were camp counselors at SeaWorld. It was her second
year. Yeah.
It was her second year as a counselor, and it was my first year as a counselor, and yeah, we became friends, and then we started going dancing all the time, and then SeaWorld, our jobs at SeaWorld ended. We continued to go dancing, and now she's my go-to dancing partner. I still can't English, and it's episode 15.
Dancing partner. We are the Dancing Queens.
Yes, we have a group chat with our other friend Ariel, and we're called the Dancing Queens, and yeah, we go dancing a lot. But enough about me explaining who Hannah is. Hannah, go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, that was a pretty nice welcome, warm welcome. But yes, I'm Hannah. Eileen and I did meet 2 years ago. That's crazy.
Isn't it? It feels like we've actually known each other for so much longer.
Long time. I know. It's probably all those like 16-hour work days.
Probably.
And overnights. But yes, so I moved to Texas about 4 years ago now. I went to college up in Rhode Island where I double majored in biology and chemistry. And there I also played basketball for the school, and I rode for the equestrian team. And that was all just preliminary for me because I always wanted to pursue something in medicine. And after thinking about med school, I decided on physician assistant school. So I applied last year after graduating college in 2017. So I'm currently up in Massachusetts.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'm on my break now. I can finally breathe again. But I'm up in Massachusetts, about 30 minutes west of Boston, in physician assistant school. I live with my dog, who's a long-haired Chihuahua. Her name's Velvet.
She is the cutest thing ever.
She's a little fluff ball. She's got little fluffy butt curtains, we call them. She has many names, Velly, Belly, Velvet. But I love sports. I love the Green Bay Packers. And I ride horses. I grew up on a farm my whole life. So pretty much just a country girl living in Texas, loving Texas.
And missing Texas anytime you are not in Texas.
I know. Missing Texas and two-stepping. But
Yeah.
that's my go-to thing. But
Yeah, that was like your one issue with going to school up on the East Coast. You're like, there's no two-stepping
there's no
places.
two-stepping. There's a country bar, and what they consider country bar is they play country music. But I'm like, y'all don't know how to country.
You ain't met our Texas.
No, our Cowboys. Cowboys should sponsor us with the amount we
Honestly,
go there.
the amount of time we go
We
there.
should get free drink coupon.
Yes.
Put us up on the stage.
I mean, we already look like groupies because we know the bass
True.
player.
Yeah, we're pretty much famous, actually.
Basically.
Marty, move out of the way. Eileen and Hannah coming through.
Basically. All right. So, yeah, that's Hannah. And we're going to go ahead and get right into it, just like always.
Let's
Hannah,
do it.
what was the moment where you felt like, oh, shit, I'm an adult now?
Is that insinuating that I'm adult now? Because
I mean.
Oh shit. This moment right now. No.
At this very instant, I still don't consider myself an
Yeah.
adult, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of a deep question, but thinking about it, I would have to say there's a little bit of that. Going off to freshman year of college, I went to a different state. Got dropped off by my family. So at that moment, I think I felt a little bit adult where, wow, I could go eat when I wanted, talk to when I wanted, party when I wanted, not party if I didn't want to, things like that. But I think when I felt the most adult was when I actually moved to Texas all by myself. between my junior and senior year of college. So that was about 4 years ago. I applied for a job at SeaWorld online. Never been to San Antonio, never been to Texas. But I'm like, who doesn't want to talk about dolphins and hang out with penguins all day with little like rugrats running around?
Yeah.
So applied, got the job, and said, hey, I'm moving to Texas. So I can remember I stayed in an extended stay hotel. I didn't have an apartment. I didn't even know how to get to work. I've never been to SeaWorld.
Oh, man.
But I remember I went to my first HEB, which, God bless HEB.
That is an experience in and of itself.
Yes, ma'am. But I remember I went to HEB. I got some rotisserie chicken for dinner and a bottle of red wine because I was alone and I didn't know what to do. And I went to my extended stay apartment and I sat in my hotel room and I said, I was very nervous, but I'm like, Hannah, you got to do this. You're on your own now. You made this decision. And I think in that moment, my life kind of switched and said, wow, you're an adult now and let's see what you can do.
When you, dang, yeah, that's a big one. It's like, shit, you just threw yourself out there.
I didn't know the state. I didn't know it. Coworkers, no friends, no family. I just kind of uprooted my life and it's literally changed my whole life for the better.
And now it's like it's literally your home, basically.
Yeah, this is where I belong.
Yeah.
So.
Did you, so when you left everything to come over here to work, did you have a car at the time? Did you drive down or did you fly down with all your things or?
So I flew down, but my father decided to retire up in Canyon Lake. So he was in the process of building a house. And his girlfriend was going to be coming down before him. It's kind of like a complicated story, but he ended up getting a car that I would use for the summer.
Okay.
I kind of missed them. I missed my family by a couple months because I came down in May and his girlfriend was moving into the house in August. So it just like bumped up the plans like about 3 months. So that's how I had a car to get around.
I was wondering, I was like, okay, she uprooted, but how did she get to
I
work?
Walked down 281 with all the traffic.
Down the crazy highway.
Faster than the car.
So you said like, who doesn't want to talk about dolphins and all that stuff. And I mean, I guess in your job, were you at the time looking for a specific job or were you just looking for just a random summer job? Like, did you actually have a plan or was it literally just fell on your lap, this type of thing?
I would say it kind of fell in my lap before me. I knew I was going to go medical, whether that be a doctor or physician assistant. In junior year, you should really be looking for a job in the medical field, but it's hard with college because it's only about 3 months. So I was just looking online and my family was going to be moving down here and I was like, why not spend a summer in Texas? And then it all just kind of through my Indeed job search, not getting paid for them, but Indeed.com.
Yep. I've talked about them so many times. Really? You might as well be sponsoring me already, Indeed.
At the end of this, Cowboys in Indeed. But yeah, it just fell into my lap, and I had a phone interview. I remember exactly where I was when I had it scheduled.
Oh my gosh, same.
But it just fell into my lap with, a little bit of help.
Yeah.
But I just decided to go for it. Why not?
There you go. Oh, that's big cojones, as people would say. It's just...
Thank you.
I wanted... Oh, shit. I was going to ask you a question, but I forgot the question. Okay, so you do your job at SeaWorld. Did working at SeaWorld ever make you think about changing your jobs, or was it just, no, I'm going to be in the medical field. This is just a temporary interest type thing. Did you ever see yourself not doing medical?
Oh, 100%. It's funny that you say that because after that first summer, it like changed my life.
Really?
I don't know if it was just the whole Texas atmosphere that I loved, but I was so intrigued by the dolphins and the trainers. And I think maybe like part of it was like the athletic side of me too, wanting to pass the swim test for the training. And I always like to challenge myself. So between my senior year was super confusing. I remember telling my parents, like, I want to pursue like marine bio.
Yeah.
And I had my
That's
biology.
true. At least you were in the biology
Yes,
department.
exactly. I was in the sciences. That whole year, my senior year, I was applying. Again, Indeed.com, to any marine program, whether it was turtles, dolphins, aquariums, all throughout the country. And I just never really got hits. So at that point, I was also still doing like the MD stuff. But 100%, it changed my life. And even now, I'm like, maybe on the side, or maybe I'll make enough money one day I can swim with dolphins whenever I want. But there's just something there.
Yeah. It's crazy how that'll affect it, but then, like, luckily for you, it affected you, but it didn't fully veer you off of your intended plan of going
Right.
medical.
Yeah, I don't know if I got accepted or there are more jobs. It's so hard to get a job. I mean,
Girl, that's why I'm in education now.
Yeah, but it really, SeaWorld is such a good organization, and everything they do, and the family and the friends, obviously, that we've developed there. It's huge. And yeah, that's my senior year. I really was gunning for a training position.
Dang.
But here I am, and I'm happy. It's okay.
Slowly, just like crippling by all the work, but it's definitely going to be worth it. You're going to be a great physician's assistant. You're going to crush it. I always watch your Snapchats when you're studying. I'm like, that girl is reading some terminology I've never, ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah, the words in itself.
She's got it down. Is there one word out of the time you've studied in PA school that has stuck out in your brain?
Oh, it's so funny you should ask. Because the Latin name for genital warts sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
For real?
Yep. Here, let me.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
Go for it.
It is so funny. I remember texting my parents like a month in, saying, "Does this not sound like a Harry Potter?" Oh. Condyloma acuminatum. That Wingardium Leviosa, a condyloma acuminatum. Genital warts, ladies and gentlemen.
That definitely does sound like it belongs in Harry Potter for sure. Going kind of on a different route. So you grew up on a farm.
Yes.
What was that like, coming from the girl who's moved around like all her childhood?
Oh my gosh. I am so blessed to have grown up on a farm. I rode a horse in the womb, so I've had horses my whole life. Having no neighbors and just fields and just your family. I don't know. It was pretty special. I think the biggest part was just having my horses in the backyard. And I didn't even realize, honestly, probably till I went to college, when girls said, "Oh, I have to board my horse," or "They're not in my backyard," or me. I'd go out whenever I wanted to run through the fields with them.
That is pretty cool. Yeah.
Awesome. And just like the hard work it takes, and every morning, every night doing chores. It's definitely made me who I am. And now I have experience living in a city, like I'm currently living in a city in school. And I've experienced like suburbs too, but I definitely know I want a farm when I get older. So I can give that for my family too.
How exciting.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I loved horses. Where did we live? I think we were living in Kentucky at the time.
Oh, you have to love horses in Kentucky.
Yeah, but I joined the 4-H over there, and we did a lot of horseback riding, and I loved every bit of it until the day where my horse failed me, and I fell off of said horse and almost got trampled by said horse, and it instilled my fear of horses until the summer of 2014, when I went to Costa Rica. And
you rode one on the beach?
I rode one in the rainforest.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, poor rainforest right now. It's burning.
I know. But I rode one, and it kind of got me back into it. But I always wanted a horse when I was younger. But that's practicality of it. Like, I was a military brat. We were living on bases. Yeah, every base has stables, but you have to board your horse at the stables. And then right before we moved here, I think someone was like giving away their horse, and they were thinking about giving it to us, but we were like, what do we do with
Yeah.
it? We're about to move to a whole nother place.
Right.
And I was just like, dang it.
See, that's where I was so lucky that I had a farm.
Yeah.
And I moved a bit too growing up. I'm still like moving, but I'm coming back to Texas. But like with my dad being like in the veterinary field and stuff, we always had a spot for them, and my mother rode, so it was just kind of natural to have them. But I feel like so many people are in your position where it's not practical.
Yeah. It's like you want it so bad, but come on, guys,
Right.
real life.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. So you did the sports you did in school, basketball and
Equestrian. Yep.
Okay. What
In
is
college, yes.
in college? What I mean, I know basketball because I love watching basketball, not so much playing it, but watching it. But equestrian, what's that like? Like, what's all the?
Yeah. So I pursued that my sophomore year, and it's actually pretty cool. So it's we do hunt seat, which is jumping. There's hunters, hunt seat. Hunt seat in particular judges the rider, or hunters judges the horse. So hunters, it's kind of hard. It's like whoever has the fanciest, most expensive horse does really well. But hunt seat, they are looking at the rider, how you're positioning, how you carry yourself, how you get the horse through the course. So we would ride anywhere between 2 and 4 times a week. We'd have workouts, and you had to work out on your own as well. But how we would compete was on Saturdays. We always competed against the same school, Division 3. So there'd be 12 schools, and we'd all convene at a barn, and you would go and you'd pull your name out of a hat, or a horse's name out of a hat, and that's where you were paired up.
Oh, wow.
So they've literally put you on this horse you've never seen before, never ridden, and then you have to go and compete on it.
Oh, here I was thinking like, oh no, you just compete with the same horse every time.
Yeah, you just pull your name out of a hat, and they have a description. It's kind of like dating, because it's like they have a description, the color, a little bit about them. They like spurs, they don't. But yeah, it was really challenging, and the best part about it was I got to ride these $100,000 warm bloods that I will never ever ride again in my life, that these fancy universities or individuals had. So that was the best part. I got to ride these horses that I would never be able to ride otherwise.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, though, because I mean, it evens the playing field. You could have girls on very fancy horses that they've ridden their whole lives.
That's true.
But you strip that horse and you put someone on a foreign horse. It really judges, can you ride? Can you use your legs? Can you give the horse the cues and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, that's smart on their part to be able to do that. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a whole nother world. Let me tell you, it's a whole other world.
Okay. Do you have any questions just in general for me, or any questions about life, or any questions?
Yeah. Wait, how long have you lived in Texas?
I've lived in Texas. I need to do the math. Hold on. I moved here in 7th grade.
Oh, so you've been here majority of your life then?
Basically, like, I guess a good half.
A good half.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself a Texan?
I don't consider myself a Texan, but I do consider Texas home.
Your home.
My home, since it is the place I've lived the longest. And as much as I wanted to leave and get away from Texas when I first moved here, it grew on me. And now, I consider this a home. I still like to tell people I'm from everywhere, just because
you are.
I kind of am,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to like the East Coast side. But I wouldn't say I'm a Texan, but I do call Texas home.
Texas home, yeah. Do you see yourself here for a while?
At the moment, yes. I do see myself here for at least the next couple, maybe few years because of my work. But after that, I do see myself eventually going somewhere that has a beach, like right there.
Because then you can also like coincide your job with the beach.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know.
I only asked that because like I knew as soon as I came here, it's home. Like I've been wearing cowgirl boots since I could walk, and horses, but I just kind of wanted someone else's take on what do you love about Texas?
Yeah. I really like I've never about what I fully like about Texas.
See that maybe it's because you're here. Like when I'm
Yeah.
up east and people are
And
asking
you realize
me,
like what you miss and all
yeah,
that
what
stuff.
I miss, and
Yeah.
like people ask why are you so prideful for Texas? Why do you wear Texas on your hat and stuff? I always have to, like, I just rip off like 10 things. Like, this is why I love it.
That's so true though. Yeah, because it's not something you think about every day, but if you are, say, like in Massachusetts, like, yeah, you're not in Texas, you're gonna share like, oh, I miss this because I love this, I miss this because I love this. I mean, I do every time I like go on vacation somewhere outside of Texas, I'm like, oh, I miss my Whataburger. Or like you go to the local grocery store over there and you're like, damn it, this would be so much cheaper at HEB.
Oh yes, and free wine tasting.
Yeah, exactly. But I do like the aspect, at least like where I live right now, the aspect of country and city being so close to each other.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in the suburbs right now, but literally across the street, there's donkeys and there's Longhorn. Like, off of 1604 that way, there's, I've noticed the past couple days, there's Longhorn right behind the solar panel farm.
So it's definitely a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Like, you're kind of out there in the country, but, I mean, what, 20 minutes and you're at Cowboys?
Yeah.
Sponsor us.
15, 20 minutes. Cowboys, come on.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's just like, it's kind of just that. And yeah, it's grown on me. Like, I'm not a person that is, this is kind of going to our cowboy stuff, but I'm not a person that will, I like to go out, but it's not like I'll always look to go out. It's like if there's an occasion, like say you're in town, or if someone else is coming to visit and they have never done something, I'll go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
But with Cowboys being that dance hall, I mean, I've been going there since I was in high school.
See, that's so
So
fun.
that's kind of part of what makes this home.
Yeah.
Because it's something I've been doing since I was old enough to do it.
Right. Huh. And the reason I think I love Cowboys so much, especially like being up east, I don't like to go out because what am I going to do? Go to a bar, pay $12 for a drink to have some guy like
stand there.
Bump and grind on me? No, we're here. It's like, you don't have to drink. I mean, we hardly drink.
We go in, drink one drink, and we're done. Right. And we're just dancing the rest of the night. Yeah.
And I think just being in so many different states and like being at the legal drinking age and going to all these bars, like I feel like in Texas, specifically at Cowboys or Wild West, like people aren't getting super drunk, people aren't getting trashed. I mean, yes, that happens.
Yes.
Of course it happens, but at such a lower rate than everywhere else because people are there just to have fun.
Exactly.
Oh, my 2 girlfriends just came down from Mass to check it out, and one of the things they said is you meet so many more people going out dancing because you're constantly standing next to new people. You're constantly being asked to dance. You're meeting people, what they do, their names. Like, it's just so much better. So much better.
Yeah. And then the fun part about especially going out, especially here in San Antonio, is that there's so many military bases around here. So not only are you meeting people, but you're also meeting people from all over that are living here also.
Such a melting pot. And let me tell you, those military men, woo, they can't dance, but I don't mind.
They can't dance, but they make for great conversation and fun times.
And they're so handsome. And they're just little babies for the most part, too.
That's so true. They're all like fresh-faced because Military City, San Antonio, it's basically the training base for everybody. So it's like all youngins, fresh-faced, and trying to also figure out how to adult. And here we are not in the military, also figuring out how to adult.
Episode 16. Go find a random young little man at Cowboys. And then you want to be on my podcast? I'll make you dinner.
Hey, I just met you. Will you be on my podcast maybe? Basically is how it would go.
Would totally be down.
Do you have any like crazy stories or moments where you, I don't know, just an experience that would be considered adulting, but to you it was so crazy in the moment that you're just like, I don't even know what the fuck happened?
Oh, goodness. Dang, that's a hard one. I don't know.
Like just any, I don't know how to word it, because I was also pulling that out of my ass as I said it, but
you're good at that.
I guess how to word it. So, do you have a moment or a story about a time where it was as if like you had to pinch yourself, like, no way this is actually happening right now.
Mhm.
Like, how is this real in relation to you trying to grow up?
Ooh. That one's tough. I'm trying to think. I mean, getting into PA school, I was pretty much thrilled. Like, I went through a pretty tough time before that. I mean, I was working as a scribe, which, if you don't know what that is, it's the doctor's bitch. You do their work and you make $9 an hour. Like, you're doing all their charting. And I loved it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the providers I worked for, but I just knew I wanted something more, and I was like meant for something more. And just going through the ringer of waiting and applying and spending so much money to apply and airline flights to interview, and I like kind of hit a low for sure. Just living at home too, and I live so far from everything. I drive a lot, and when I got into PA school, that was like, oh my goodness, like I've been working for this since I was in the first grade. Like, always worried about grades and being a good individual. And I think that was like, wow, let me pinch myself because, I could just cry. Like, so much weight was off my shoulders. Like, I did it. I'm going to be a physician assistant. Like, I'm going to have a career that I've wanted my whole life. So I think that's a pretty much pinch me. Like, oh my God, it's real. Yeah. That's pretty cool. It was so cool. And again, like, things like that, I could tell you exactly where I was. Yeah. What I was doing when I got the call. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm proud of you because,
thank you.
Like I said earlier, you're going to be great at it. You're smarter than me, so.
Oh, stop. If you ever have questions, just text me. You
like, what's wrong with me,
seriously,
Hannah?
I was a month into school, and my friends were like, it burns when I pee, help. Girl, you have a UTI. It's going to be okay. Or can you, like, look at this freckle? Like, I think it's changing in the sun. It's just a freckle. It's okay. It's sun damage. You'll be all right.
You're okay.
Yeah.
You will survive.
But I love it. I love it so much.
That's so funny. Have you had anyone ask you something, like, crazy? Besides, it burns when I pee.
Yeah, pretty much it's just girlfriends. Like, I'm 3 days late on my period. Like, is this going to be okay? Or, nothing major where I'm like, you need to go see a doctor because I'm not one yet. But yeah, just my typical girl conversations. So I guess, knock on wood, I haven't had anything too crazy, but
that's fun. It's gonna make for great stories the more like into it you go.
Oh my goodness, yes. And even the things I've already seen scribing. It's just funny.
All right. Well, we are getting to the tail end, so we're going to do our last segment.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. The mug of questions. Dun, dun.
You can't even see it, but it says, I do not
Yeah.
care.
It's my donut mug of questions.
So, question.
And yes,
favorite donut, go.
My favorite donut? Ooh. Okay. I'm like a basic person, so like a glaze is pretty great.
Okay. From anywhere?
But from...
Because glaze is different.
Not from like the gourmet shops, because I've tried one from a gourmet shop and I'm like, this is not good. Okay. So I'm like a good basic like H-E-B glazed or Shipley's, because Shipley's glazed is very different than like an H-E-B or a Krispy Kreme glaze, but I still love the basic ones. But lately,
oh honey, yes,
gourmet donuts, I've been really liking the maple bacon donuts. That just like perfect amount of sweet and savory is just like delicious.
I don't know why I said, oh, yes. I've never had one, but just
the thought of it.
Yeah, the salty, the sweet, and maple.
So good.
Wow.
Like, definitely if they have any up in Mass, or you have this whole week, like, definitely go find yourself a maple bacon. A maple bacon donut, and it's delicious.
Okay. I have to try,
because the bacon is like typically like crispy and like perfectly just glossed over, and
that's awesome.
Delicious. Yeah.
Good choice. I approve.
What about you? Okay,
so Donuts I never really liked growing up.
Uh-huh.
But in college, I kind of got a sweet tooth. But I'd eat a bagel any day over a donut. Like Asiago bagel with cream
bagels,
cheese.
Yeah.
Woo! But if I want donut, sometimes I just get an urge. Maybe once or twice a year, I'm like, I want a donut.
Yeah.
And it's definitely Boston cream.
Oh, I'm not one for like
Really?
filled.
They're like big donuts. Like I'm like, this is going straight to my hip donut. But sometimes, yeah, biannually, I need a good donut.
Dang, yeah. There was when I was at Texas State, there was an Einstein Bagels. Yeah, there was an Einstein Bagels Bro, whatever, on campus, and that place was my shit. I would go because at Texas State, their little meal swipe system was like one swipe got you a donut, a bagel, and like a nice sized coffee. And so I would go every morning, and it sucked when I moved to the whole opposite end of campus because getting a bagel every day was not practical for me. I would have to stop whenever I would go to my aquatic biology class because my aquatic biology class was on the entire opposite end of where I lived.
Goodness. Yeah.
But I would go every day and get myself a cinnamon sugar bagel with their honey almond schmear.
Yes. Schmear. That's what they call it, schmear. Yes. In any other sense of the word schmear, it's probably not a good connotation.
No, probably not.
That's schmear. Yeah. The last time I had, it's funny because Einstein's is a Minnesota thing, and that's where I was born.
Yeah.
But the last time I had Einstein's was in Arkansas when I was living with Rachel this past fall. They had a bunch of them. Yeah. So we used to go, but.
And then here there's like none.
I know.
There's one on the campus right next to my school, but I would feel weird going on their campus to just go buy a donut.
Don't ever
or
feel
not
weird
a donut,
to
a
buy
bagel.
A bagel. Whenever your heart desires, fill it with bagels.
All right, go ahead and pick a question.
Okay. I do not care what question I pick.
And then read it out and then give us your answer.
Ooh, a blue one. I didn't write this one. Is school necessary? College and so on.
Oh.
Ooh, deep.
Dun, dun, dun. Coming from the whole conversation we had.
Yeah, right? Go to school, kids. High school, yeah. Necessary, I think, to finish that and do your thing. College, no. Like, especially nowadays, we don't have enough plumbers or electricians or tradesmen and things like that. So school's not for you. Find something and go make it work. Yeah.
And sometimes it's even those jobs like that pay more than someone who has a degree or anything like that.
Construction things like that. I don't condone just sitting at home and not knowing what you're doing, but if you want to go be a cosmetologist, go be a cosmetologist. Like one of my good friends from high school is making an amazing living because she went out and pursued it and did it. So whether you want to pursue college, whether you want to pursue the arts or cosmetology or construction, if you're giving yourself 110%, I think that's what's necessary, not school.
That's a good answer.
Thanks, honey. And I'm here all week.
And I would just say, like, ditto. Because honestly, like, school's not for everybody, but...
Hell, the military?
Yeah.
What a way to go.
And then at that point, once you're in the military for a while, and if you're like, oh, wait, I kind of think I could be ready for it, the military will pay for your school.
Exactly.
Like, you'll be set. But good answer. Yeah.
Donut cup.
Okay. If you had to wear one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? Ooh.
I wrote that
one. If I had to wear one thing for the rest of my life, one thing. I think I would probably wear.
Like, are we thinking comfort? Are we thinking fashionable?
That's what I'm trying to, like, figure out. Like, am I here in Texas? Like, where am I at?
I'm sorry I put down such a tricky one, but...
I think I would probably go with, like... I'd probably go with, like, leggings.
A particular kind, or no? Because, some leggings are...
You're right.
No bueno.
You're right. I would probably go with... My new favorites are the airy leggings.
Okay.
I had a pair that had pockets and I loved them. And then, but then I ended up buying more pairs because they were on sale and they don't have pockets, but I still love them.
Yes.
Hi, Airy. How you doing? My name's Eileen. But I think I would wear a pair of airy leggings, and they're just like cotton leggings, but they're not too thick, not too thin, and they don't make that weird sound as my thighs rub together. so I wouldn't be
I
annoyed
don't know
by
what
that.
you're talking about. That's never happened to me.
And then I'd probably wear like a t-shirt with it, like a
Texas
more
State.
loose t-shirt, probably a t-shirt that I got while at Texas State, because
Yeah.
that's currently my entire t-shirt collection, all the free shirts I've gotten.
Oh, yeah.
My little brother, who is currently now at Baylor, just started, what's today, Tuesday? He just started yesterday. By the time you're hearing this, he'll already would have started like a couple weeks, but
They grow up
same
so
thing.
fast.
They grow up so fast. Anyways, onto the t-shirt thing. Yeah, he went to orientation
And he already got some.
and he had like 10 t-shirts just from
Oh, yeah.
2 days of orientation.
Oh, yeah. They're like Oprah up in there. You get a t-shirt and you get a t-shirt. Everybody gets a t-shirt.
Yeah, honestly, that's how crazy it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's insane. But yeah, on the terms of if I could only wear one thing, I would probably wear leggings and a t-shirt, and then my white Vans, which are currently on their last leg of life.
Would that be pun intended? Last leg? Yeah, last
Oh,
leg.
I guess. Yeah.
Are they still white or not so much?
They are kind of white and kind of not white.
That's how I feel about my skin right now. I'm like a white girl, but shit, I'm pushing tan.
You're probably tanner than me right now,
That's
actually.
how you know when you're tanner than your Puerto Rican friend. Yes, honey.
But no, the shoes, I wore them on a day when at work we got to go visit the conservation department, and every time you go into like a new room, you have to step on this like disinfectant thing to like not
like
contaminate, like what we did at SeaWorld for the shark visit. Well, we had to do that, and I wore my white Vans, and the water liquid, I stepped very into the pool, and it like got on it, and now it's just stained in that area, and I had Gorilla glued my shoes back together, and now the Gorilla glue is not there anymore, and so my shoes are falling apart, and I really need to get a new pair.
I was like, they do still sell those.
I know. Well, okay, I didn't notice that it was stained until today when I'm sitting as someone's presenting something, and I'm just staring at my shoes, and I'm like, oh,
Slightly ratchet.
I'm wearing a cute dress today, and then my shoes are not doing it for me today.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Eileen will be buying new white Vans.
And more colors. I want to buy more colors now.
Wait, aren't Vans the ones where like, what are those?
What are those? Oh no, it's the meme for Vans is back at it again with the white Vans. Or it's like,
dang,
damn,
I just
Daniel.
aged myself that I don't know these memes. Holy
It's
moly.
the damn, Daniel, back at it again with the
Daniel. Oh my Lantis. I'm hip, guys, I promise.
Oh girl, it is so hard to stay on trend now. Like even on Instagram, you're scrolling through and then there's some meme based on something that's going around. I'm like,
I got
what?
Nothing. Yep. Oh man.
Oh, okay. Before we get on to your next question picking, do you have a favorite like meme or Vine or anything from the past that you're just like always have to?
Okay, Vine was the shit.
It was.
Why did we sell Vine? But the funniest thing ever. Like, if you ever think you're having a bad day, like, just think of those people that became famous on Vine, and they're like, "I've made it. Like, I'm good for life." And then, boom, Vine no more.
And now they're all YouTubers and making hella money, and it's crazy.
I guess that's true, but like,
But some Viners didn't survive
didn't.
the transition out.
They did not. Oh, memes. I don't think I have a particular favorite meme, but when one is used in good context, I will giggle about it for a while. Like, I have a group chat at school that, like, if someone says something real dumb or we're struggling to get through, all of a sudden, like, a meme will pop up and I have to leave the class because I burst out laugh. And, like, I become, like, this little demon when I'm holding in my laugh. It's like, like it's so deep because I'm just trying to hold it in. And yeah, my friends call it my demon laugh, and I have to excuse myself because I know what pops up on my phone. So yeah, if any meme in the right context gets me.
Dang.
What about you?
For me, I quote a lot, and then I don't realize that I quote them until like I reflect on what I did in the day, and then I'm like, oh, wait a second, that was a meme. But one that I like to quote a lot, and I don't even know if it was a meme or not, but I remember seeing it in a video that was a viral video. But it was like this little boy who's like talking to his mom, and he just goes, "Listen, Linda, listen, listen." Listen, Linda. And I do that all the time whenever like I'm talking to my mom about something or anybody. I'm just like, no. Listen, Linda. And that's kind of the one I just like stick with.
Oh, I kind of do like, look at all damn chickens.
That one, yes. When I went to Puerto Rico last year, we were in Ponce, and we were on the pier or on the boardwalk. And there were a bunch of pelicans, and no, there weren't pelicans. There were fish. I can't remember. I don't know what kind of fish they were, and this is really bad on my aquatic biology brain. But they were big fish.
One time only.
They were really big fish, and there were a bunch of them. And I looked at my brother, and I recorded it while it happened. And I just looked at him and said, "Look at all those chickens." And then I like panned my camera to the thing. And
Classic. It can work for anything.
I was so proud of myself.
Working for fish in Puerto Rico. It can work for freshmen at orientation.
Oh my gosh, yes. It can work when you're actually cooking chicken or in a coop with chickens.
You never know. That's like, new answer. Mm-hmm. Look at all them chickens.
All right, next question for you.
Right, let me dig into this cup. Ouch, it bit me. No.
The donut does have a face, I think.
It does?
I think on the other side,
Okay, I got pink. I didn't write this one either.
Face.
How do you know you were born into the right religion? Oh my Lanta, I'm like pulling a deep one. The right, I don't think there's a right religion.
Yeah.
And religion in general, we're going to get in. Religion in general sometimes has a bad connotation to it. And I'll just speak on my religion. I'm Christian, kind of non-denominational. Went to a Protestant church growing up, but now I just attend a non-denominational one. And how I describe it is my walk with Christ, because religion can have a bad connotation. It can be very self-centered. So I look at it as a walk with Christ and just making myself into a better human. Because they say to be a better person, you become more Christ-like. Or I kind of phrased that wrong. Like, to be a better Christian is to become more like Jesus, and Jesus was the most kind, giving, loving individual. So the more you walk with him, the better person you become, really.
Yeah.
And you could totally be atheist and just be like Jesus and become a better person.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's a right religion, but I think there's morals and humanities that we all need to follow. Yeah, so.
It's more like, I see it more as the right religion for you.
Right.
Because, like, you could be completely, like, by the Bible or whatever book it is that you attest to, and then be completely, like, best friends with someone who's on the whole opposite side of that.
Correct.
But you don't let that overcome anything, because some people can look past that, but some people can use that to help build their relationship with that person.
Right.
But yeah, it's more based on, like,
it's more of an individual thing. And I don't think there's a right.
Yeah.
There's a right for you and how to conduct yourself.
Exactly.
And things like that.
How to live your personal life. Because everyone is beautiful.
You're beautiful.
Yes. It's true.
James Blunt.
And if I sing. I saw him when I went to the Ed Sheeran concert, and it was great. And he held that song all the way until the end.
Oh, yes.
Yes. He was like, I know you guys are only here to listen to this one song. So
that one-hit wonder, James Blunt.
He was like, I'm going to play all my other songs before playing that one.
Hold out.
What is your favorite thing about yourself?
Oh, cute. Or things.
I know. My favorite thing about myself, this is funny because today at work we took personality tests to figure out what type of people we were. And I found out I'm a mediator, which makes total sense.
Oh, yeah.
Just
I
complete.
Can attest to that.
Yes. But I think my favorite thing about myself is physically, like, my hair.
And she just got this haircut that is pure fire. I couldn't stop looking at her when we went. I couldn't stop looking at you, Eileen, when we went out the other night. But she looks so cute and it's so curly.
Thank you.
Perfect for your podcast name.
Yes. It took me a while to accept my curls. And I finally did in, I think freshman or sophomore year of college was when I actually accepted the fact that I love my curls.
And the length and the layers.
Yeah.
Shout out to your hairdresser.
Yeah. Honestly, he's great. Thank you, Jasenia, for recommending him to me. But physically, I would have to say my hair. And then, not physically, but, I guess personality, internal wise, whatever. My favorite thing about myself is I like the way that I can, I don't know, adapt to things and to people. I'm very, I guess, versatile in a way of how I engage with other people,
which is like a mediator kind of.
Yeah, so in a way, yeah, my personality is a mediator because I can kind of connect with everybody on some type of level. Someone at my work a while ago, we were talking about issues between coworkers and stuff like that, and then they were like, but then there's you, Eileen, that you somehow get along with everybody and you're fine. And I was like, I mean, I guess I do.
Can't downplay that. That's a huge, and you probably don't even think about it, but that's a huge character trait to have. Mm-hmm. To be able to talk to anyone, get along with anyone. I think that goes along with being level-headed and just go with the flow.
Which is my motto, go with the flow. Yeah.
Which I think is literally such a good trait to have, whether it's personal relationships or jobs or life in general. You rock, girl.
Thank you But yeah, that's what I would say is my favorite thing about myself is just being able to adapt to whatever and whoever comes into my life,
and just stay level-headed the whole time.
I may complain about it at the time, or I may at the moment with another person be like, do I? But then I'm just like, no, it's fine, Eileen. You'll be okay. I have to do that. Talk to myself.
She's not crazy. Just remaining level-headed.
Just being one with myself. And yeah. But yeah, that's my favorite thing about myself. That's a good question.
Yes.
Anonymous writer.
I know. I wrote both of those, and then I just pulled some random ones. It's kind of funny.
I know. It works out that way. For the longest time when I was first doing the podcast, the first few episodes, we would get to the mug of questions portion, and the people, whoever I was the guest at the moment, they would end up picking their own question that they wrote.
Oh,
and it was funny because I would preface with them you'll just pick a random question, no thing, and they're like, oh, I don't want to pick my question. And then the instant
boom
we get to the mug of questions, the first question they pick is the question they didn't want to read because they wrote it for someone else. And so it's just been a fun ride. But yeah, do you have any that brings us to the end of the podcast. Do you have any?
We made it.
I know, we made it. We had some technicals. We had some technical difficulties, but
we made it.
We made it through. And do you have anything you want to say? Any final remarks or questions or thoughts?
Well, final thoughts. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
We planned this the other night while two-stepping the night away.
Yes.
But I would just say, God bless Texas. And if any of y'all want to go two-stepping with me, I'm here till Saturday.
But by the time you hear this, she'll
be gone.
here.
But y'all slide into my DMs, Hannah.Oceana on Instagram. I will teach you how to two-step.
She'll be linked below so you can away. Okay. But yeah, thank you for coming. And like I said, by the time y'all hear this, it's gonna be, I'm recording this way in advance, which is the first time. I'm proud of myself, you guys. I told myself that I would get motivated again in episode 13, and here I am recording my second episode in 2 weeks, and I'm ahead of the program. I'm proud of myself.
Ma'am.
But yeah, so thank you, Hannah. We're gonna go sing again this week, and it's going to be great.
On Friday.
And hopefully our dance partners come back.
Oh, they are. It's been confirmed today.
Yay! But other than that, yeah, thanks, Hannah, for coming over and for joining me and for being the awesome person that you are and being my go-to dance partner, like, all the time. Like, I'm a person, I'll go to the dancing club, but I don't have to be dancing the whole time. Like, I'm a people watcher, and so I'm perfectly happy just standing there and watching. But Hannah is like the opposite. She's like, I gotta be dancing, which I think is like what works for us so well.
It's true. Like, I hear my song, I gotta go prowl. Like, I gotta go find
and then I'll be the person that's like, go, Hannah, I'll watch your stuff for you.
I know, she's the best. But yeah, we like to watch and listen to the music. That's why we like where we go, because there's live music too. And we have so much fun going out. So I'm excited for Friday.
So anybody from Cowboys, thank you, because you have brought us joy these past 2 years. For me, since high school, but with Hannah these past 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
But other than that, I keep wanting to end my podcast early before I say anything. You can listen to the Life in Curly Cues podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. You can, quote unquote, watch the podcast on YouTube and on Facebook. And you can follow me wherever in the links below or in the description, however you are listening / watching this. But thanks for joining me, and I will talk to y'all on the next one. Bye.